Hello students, welcome to Legacy Academy. In this particular video, we are going to discuss about a recent attack carried on the territory of Israel by the Yemen rebel group, popularly known as Houthis, and also sometimes are referred by the name of Ansar Allah. So let us try to understand in this particular video that why this Yemeni group is targeting Israeli territory, Israeli ships, and also after Iran, why they have intensified their strike against Israel as such. So first of all, to give you the brief context of this particular topic, as you can see, one of the major airport of Israel called as Ben Gurion Airport. Ben Gurion was the earlier former prime minister of Israel. So to honor him, airport has been named as Ben Gurion Airport. Now, if you look at this particular video, you can see from here that the strike has been carried out by the Yemeni Houthi group on this particular airport. Not only airport was targeted, but also they sank two vessels in the Red Sea areas, and it seems that after the conclusion of Iran-Israel war, Yemeni group has ramped up its military pressure in support of Palestine. One of the major contention or major issue which they have with Israel is that Israel has continuously carried out a strike in the Gazan territory that has led to unfortunate killing of civilians as well. So they have vowed that unless and until Israel stop attacking Gaza, unless and until Israel stop attacking Palestinian territory, Yemeni group will keep on carrying out strikes in the Red Sea area and also in the aerial strikes in the Israeli territory as well. In this context, the spokesperson of Houthi group has said that a qualitative military operation has been launched, and they also have fired ballistic missile in the Israeli territory, while Israeli government has claimed that most of these missiles were intercepted and they have caused minimal to no damage as such. Now, before carrying out this aerial missile strike on the airport and other areas, there has been a huge attack on the Red Sea region in the last 1 week itself. If you look at the ship is sinking. The ship was attacked by the Houthi group themselves. So they also are holding 6 crew member as a hostage, and this ship was called as Eternity Sea. This Eternity Sea was a ship that was operated by a Greek company, but it was having a flag of Liberia. That means the ship was registered in Liberia. Similarly, one day before, Houthis have struck and sunk, as you can see from this particular image, a ship called as Magic Sea. However, all the crew member fortunately were rescued, and they were basically again were taken hostage by the Houthi rebel group. Now, why attacks? That is the first question that come into mind, that why Houthi groups are continuously attacking the shipping lane passing through the Red Sea area, or why they are targeting the Israeli territory as such. So in this context, the leader of the Houthi group, he has given a clear-cut message that they are clearly saying that Israel is aggressor here because they have carried out strikes in the Palestinian territory, leading to killing of many civilians as such. And that is why, because the ship passing through this area, Red Sea area, any such ships that can transport goods to Israel, such as crude oil or any other commodity, cannot be allowed to pass through the Yemeni controlled territory, especially the Red Sea areas, Gulf of Aden area, and even the Arabian Sea region. Later we'll discuss in the map that to what extent Houthis exercise control over these territory. Ships owned by companies which tie to Israel are the one that Houthis are largely targeting, and also they have said that they will prevent Israel navigation in both Red Sea area and the Arabian Sea area until and unless the aggression against Gaza by Israeli defense forces start as such. Now, we also have to understand, first of all, briefly, that who are these Houthi group? Now, Houthi group, as we know, they are residing in the territory of Yemen, and they belong to a Jadi Shia sect of Yemen. Basically, if you talk about the entire Islamic world, Islam is divided into two major sects. One is Sunni, other is Shia. So they belong to Shia sect, and even within the Shia, you have a subgroup called as Jadi. So these Houthis belong to Jadi group, and they largely, we can understand, make up 35% of the entire population of the country of Yemen. Also, the reason why they began to exercise influence and increase their assertiveness in the Yemeni territory is to counter the influence of Sunni Islam, largely led by countries such as Saudi Arabia, UAE, and the nearby countries of Oman as such, and they start to have their own philosophy against the increasing influence of Salafism. Salafism is believed to have originated somewhere in the Sunni world, Sunni controlled countries, and this particular ideology believes that the best way to live a life for any particular for any individual who is practicing Islam is to turn back to the early days of Islam. So 3 generations after Prophet Muhammad, the way how they used to live life, that is how all Muslims should strive to live their life. This is the core or the central idea of Salafism. And so, basically Houthis or the Shia sect, Jadi Shia sect, they are standing in opposition to this particular idea as such. So Shia Sunni conflict you might have read about, heard about. So to some extent its reflection we can see from here. Now the question is that why they are targeting suddenly Israel and how they are linked to Iran. Let us try to understand this, but before also, if we try to look at the area under their control, we can see this is the Yemeni territory, the country of Yemen, and Houthis here, if you look at this entire area is largely under the control of Houthi as such. The capital of Yemen, Sana'a, is also under the control of Houthi as such. So here, if you look this side, you have the Red Sea. This side you have the Gulf of Aden, and further you have the Arabian Sea. So we can understand that Arabian Sea also is having, or Yemen also is having border with Arabian Sea. And they also control a vital territory, a vital strait called as Bab al-Mandab that connects Gulf of Aden to the Red Sea area. So they control a very vital junction of Red Sea, Gulf of Aden, its coastline, and because they command the strategic Bab al-Mandab Straits, they have the ability to control the entire traffic flow to this particular area as such, and that is where India is also concerned, because some amount of crude oil we can understand is also passing through and flowing through this particular area as well. So this is how we can understand the control. Now, before understanding the linkage of Houthis with Iran, we have to understand that why Israel is getting affected here, because as we discussed, Red Sea area, if you look at here, that is being commanded by Houthis, right? We have discussed here south, you have Bab al-Mandab and all that, and through Red Sea you can see there are two passageways, one toward the Gulf of Suez through which ships can enter Mediterranean. So a lot of traffic is also flowing through the Mediterranean Sea toward Red Sea, then Gulf of Aden, and then going to Arabian Sea. So it is basically a connecting link between the Western world, largely Europe, and the Eastern world, that is the South Asia, Southeast Asia, and East Asia as such. And one of the passage you can see is called as Gulf of Aqaba, that directly goes to a port called as Eilat. Now Eilat is a port that is in the Israeli control, it is part of Israeli territory. So a ship that has to move from, let us say, Arabian Sea toward Eilat, toward Israel, they have to necessarily pass through Red Sea areas, Gulf of Aden area and all that, and that is why Houthis have been targeting. Now, before understanding the link with Iran, I would want to bring your attention to the fact that at Legacy IAS Academy, we are going to soon launch our new batches. The batches are going to commence, it is regular weekday batches that is going to commence on 9th August, and the weekend batches that is going to commence on the 11th of August as such. So, first of all, if we try to understand that what are the unique point USPs that we have at Legacy IAS Academy. So obviously, first of all, we believe that preparation of UPSC cannot be done in silo. It has to be done in integrated manner right from the start, covering all the stages of examination, whether it is prelims, mains, or interview as such. And for that, comprehensive coverage of general studies has becomes very essential. So right from the start, we believe that you should have proper practice of essay, then GS1, 2, 3, 4, and even optional papers we are providing here. Then we believe that many times students get deviated from the path, they get confused at what is the proper strategy they should follow to clear the examination, and that is where the role of mentorship cannot be undermined. So we have mentorship support also, we have doubt solving classes as well, we have regular interaction with the educator, and also we believe that interaction in classes should be maximum between the educator and the students, and that is why we have policy of maximum 40 students per batch. Not only that, we believe that right after a few classes, when a certain percentage of syllabus is complete, means answer writing practice can go a long way in assuring success of any students, and that is why we heavily emphasize on daily mains answer writing practice with proper feedback. And obviously, apart from this, we have test series both for prelims and mains, so students can understand where do they stand as far as their examination preparation is concerned. Based on the feedback, then they can further change their strategy or further understand that which are their weak areas, the strength areas, and that is how they can work upon. So we have also 360-degree current affairs coverage and many more. We want to know more about details of the programs, the batches, when it is going to commence, and the overall features. You can then reach out to the numbers that is given here, or you can also click the link in the description box given the particular video. Now coming back to this particular topic, if you talk about the link between Iran and Houthi, it is because there is a proper term for this called as axis of resistance. Axis of resistance is a term that is used for all the groups, whether they are proxy groups or the state actors that support Iran against the Sunni hegemony or against the US-Israel partnership or presence in this particular area. Now, in the axis of resistance, as you can see, Iran is the main country here. It has axis of resistance. One major part is Iran-backed militia operating from Iraq called as Hast al-Shabi. Up till Assad government was in power, Syria was also part of the axis of resistance. Then you had Lebanon here, and then further in the Yemen, Houthis, because as we have discussed, Iran is largely a Shia dominated, Shia populated, Shia controlled country, and Houthi also share a similar this sectarian linkage as such, and that is why also they were part of axis of resistance. Now we know that Assad regime has fallen, and thus one of the axis of resistance has evaporated in this area. That also has led to complete cutoff of any kind of linkage between Lebanon and Iran as such. So we have seen a weakening of link in this particular region, and that is why it is the Yemeni Houthis on which Iran is now largely dependent upon. Now, as far as the Houthis in the axis of resistance is concerned, we can understand from the fact that due to the severe weakening of Hezbollah and Hamas, Hezbollah, as we know, were operating both from Lebanon and then from Gaza territory. And if you try to again understand the linkage here, it was from Iran. As you can see, Iran is a country here. So from Iran through Iraq, then to Syria, and from Syria to Lebanon, and from Lebanon to Gaza Strip. That is how arms used to flow, every kind of support and weapon system used to flow from Iran to this particular area as such. Now, as Syria has been taken out from here, and that is why Lebanon also has lost any kind of contact with Iran as such. So this is a region why now Iran has begun intensifying its support to the Yemeni Houthi group as such. So this is one region we have to understand. Coordination with Hast al-Sabi, that operating in Iraq, is something that also Houthis are doing in. And also to strengthen their presence, they have decided to open an office in Baghdad as well, and that is how they will try to further link with the Iran as such. Now, if we try to understand about the Yemen situation, it's not that the entire country of Yemen is under the control of Houthis. There are several other groups as well, rebel groups we can say, or the earlier government we can say, they are being supported by the Sunni country. So basically what we see in Yemen is also a divide between Shia and Sunni world of Islam, where the Sunni groups are being supported by the Saudi Arabia, by United Arab Emirates, and then these countries are ally of Western power. So US, UK, France, if you try to understand, they are supplying weapons and logistical support to these countries, and these countries are then supplying support to the Yemeni government. That is largely Sunni controlled. If we talk about Houthis, Houthis are being provided support, as we can see from this link here. They are aligned with Iran and they are being provided support by Iran as such, largely through the sea route, through the Gulf of Aden, and then through the, basically we can try to understand from the this Gulf of Oman as such. So that is how entire situation can be understood here. Now, as far as the Red Sea attack is concerned, since very beginning when they started to capture their power to prove their potency or to prove their assertiveness, they have held the entire freedom of navigation and seaborne commerce in Red Sea as hostage. They have declared that unless and until Israel stops attacking this territory of Gaza, or we can say entire Palestinian region, they will not stop, and they have used not only one method of attack but several methods of attack to increase their what you can call as intensity. For example, recently also we have discussed target to Israel, this Yemeni group Houthis had targeted Israel by launching a ballistic missile or cruise missile. They also have a drone campaign against the Israel as such. They have attacked the maritime domain. 2 ships have been sunk recently. Iranian military aid and supply also is being provided by the sea routes, as we have discussed, to the Yemen. And also it is believed that because Russia, Iran both are allied, so the Russian government also is indirectly supporting Yemeni group, Houthi group, by providing them particular intelligence or proper intelligence, what you can call as about the movement of the ships, movement of the aircrafts, and so that is how we have to understand this. Now the question is that what has been the response of the Western world and other countries here? So against the strike of Houthis in the Red Sea area, several operations have been launched by the Western powers such as UK, France, and United States. Two major options here we have is Operation Prosperity Guardian and Operation Poseidon Archon. They have yielded a very successful result, and it is believed that again, if Houthis go on and keep on targeting the shipping vessels here, commercial vessel here, again similar kind of operation, joint operation, can be launched by the naval forces of these countries. Now obviously the attack in Red Sea have created a lot of problems for the shipping commerce all across the world, because it is believed that as per the International Monetary Fund, 7-day moving average for the transit cost, that means the ships that is moving through the Suez Canal area, because we have discussed that Red Sea is further connected to Suez Canal and further to the Mediterranean Sea. So that number has fallen down significantly by almost 50% if you look at the last year data, and same effect we can see in this year as well if the damage is continuously being caused by the Houthi group. And also it will increase the cost of shipping, because the insurance cost of ships, insurance cost of the vessels will increase proportionately. So that is how we have to understand the entire situation. The Houthi group is largely targeting Israel because of two reasons. One, they want Israel to stop attacking Gaza territory, and second, also they are being provided support by Iran. So they are acting as a pseudo group working in the favor of Iran as such. So that is all about this particular video. If you like the video, please hit like button, share it with your aspirants, subscribe to the channel for more such content. Thank you.